Good morning, Hampton Roads. How's everybody doing today? And welcome to Virginia's only local real estate investing podcast, where we get to talk about local investors, local deals, and all things local. I'm your host, the founder of the Master Investor Academy, and author of my best-selling book, Work Just Gets in the Way of Making Money, Scott Jelinek. I'm doing this a little bit different today. I'm actually on my iPad at my office because I raced out this morning and I had a lot of stuff I wanted to get out to you. So I figured, hey, let's just get it done. We'll see how it turns out. These new iPads actually has the camera all the way to the left, not on the top, so it feels a little awkward, like I'm not looking at the right spot. But anyway, here we are. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, properties you'd like to sell, things you'd like to discuss, you can go ahead and text me at 757-699-4227. That's 757-699-4227. So I have a couple things I wanted to go over with you today. And first and foremost, I just got back from an event down in Tampa. And this was a masterminding event with all people in the industry, in the real estate investing, training, seminars, coaching industry. It was really good. Probably one of the best events I've ever attended. And I learned a lot there. I got a lot of really good stuff that I'm looking forward to bringing back to my current coaching clients. A lot of new stuff. I got some people that are actually going to come down and help train with my coaching clients. So I got a lot of really good stuff out of it. But one of the things that was really interesting is the people in the group, in the audience, just like me, the people sitting there were some of names of people that I've known, that I've been to their events 20 years ago, been to their seminars 20 years ago. People like Ron LeGrand and Russ Whitney were there in the attending the event. They weren't the speakers. They were just there attending the event. We had, a lot of great people, all the big names. I felt like everybody there, I've read their books, so it was very interesting. It was a great room to be in. Got a lot of great information out of it. And then they capped it off. The finale, the final thing is they had, I'm sure you guys are old enough to remember, but Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice is actually a real estate investor. I wasn't even aware of this. Apparently he's on like his 9th season of his show. It's called the Vanilla Ice Project, I think, something along those lines, and where he flips houses. So he's a big real estate flipper. I wasn't even aware. So he came in and he was interviewed and talked to us for a while, and then he actually performed. So it was like a 90s party. It was a lot of fun. Great event. Of all the events I've ever been to, probably the absolute best event I've ever been to. That's not what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, though. So I want to talk to you about a few different things today. One is something that, ironically, they were talking about at the event, but it's going on right now. I'm going to pull one of them up. So one of the things they were talking about, they were going statistically over time, the amount of lawsuits that the litigation from landlords, real estate investors, and the amount of how it's been rising. And they said in 2020, it was up almost 40%. I don't know if that's because people were sitting home, they were bored, because people were evicted, they had this moratorium going on. And so anyway, one of my actual coaching clients right now is dealing with a tenant who defaulted, didn't pay her payment, and then the owner, the landlord, the owner of the property obviously took the property back, and now she's suing her. And it's, I'm sure it'll end up being nothing, but it doesn't change the fact she's going to have to pay for an attorney. She's going to have to go to court, going to have to go through this whole process. So hopefully it all gets resolved. I don't think it's going to be a big deal whatsoever, but it was interesting because they had just finished learning this at the event. And then I came back and then she tells me this. And then another one, if you guys are local, this was in the paper just today, yesterday, I guess it's September 30th, 2021. Attorney General's office sues Newport News landlord, accusing him of blatant housing discrimination. And I read this. It's a long article, but read the article. I know this guy, and they are suing him for $8 million to compensate the tenants. It says for willful, wanton, and blatant pattern and practice of discriminatory behavior. And again, I know this guy. It doesn't mean it's true or not true. I don't believe any of it's true. However, doesn't change the fact it's going to cost him, if he wins, it's going to cost him probably hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees. And these people who are suing him are, it's not people. I'm sorry. It's, who initiated it. It's what did I say? It was the Attorney General. However, the people that he's going against, they're a year and a half behind on their rent. And now the moratorium is finally over, and they're talking about they're going to be evicted. And then all of a sudden this comes up. It seems a little coincidental, but, we'll find out. I don't know what's true and what's not true. Only time will tell. So a couple other things I want to tell you about. So on my last podcast, I had just closed the deal I told you about. And this deal was I bought it subject to, I was telling you about it. It wasn't a great deal. It was marginal. I think I paid about 60 grand for it, 2 grand out of pocket, took over a mortgage. And anyway, it was one day later. Now I know I haven't done the podcast because I was out of town, but one day later we did get it filled and got it sold, I believe at 129, getting $1,100 a month, got 8 grand down. And so as I was telling you on the last one, I said, it was a marginal deal, but it was decent. Once I got that deal done the next day, it turns out to be a fantastic deal because now we got 60 grand in equity in it, $500 a month positive cash flow, no money invested in the deal. So turned out to be a fantastic deal. Another one, I just closed on one, just picked up a check. So I got a check here. Let me cover that for $105,000, 913. And I want to break down the numbers with you because this really wasn't a good deal. I closed on this. This is not profit, mind you. I closed on this deal. I paid $90,000 for this home. I didn't do any work to it. It was occupied. It was a duplex. It was occupied. I didn't do any work to it. But I believed when I closed on it, I was going to be able to just put it on the market and get about 140 for it. It sat on the market for a month. Well, I had one contract that fell through for about a month and a half. And then I finally ended up getting a contract on it for 120. So now after you pay out agent commissions, closing cost assistance, and everything else, my check, and I had to pay $2,400 for termite work because you had to pass for a regular mortgage. So I ended up getting $105,913. But it's not really $15,000 in profit because I also had closing costs on the buy. I did put in a new refrigerator. I did some minor little things to it. So I'm looking at right around $10,000 in profit. And I know 10,000 is still 10,000. So we're not saying that that's bad. But you pick up a check for 105 and you feel like, woohoo, but it's really just a real small profit. It was a lot less than I should have made or intended to make when I closed on this property in the first place. If I had not closed with my own cash, I likely would have been upside down on it. Because it was my own cash, I was able to do it. If I had used private money or hard money, it likely wouldn't have worked. So a couple other things I wanted to tell you about. Well, actually, the very last thing I want to tell you about is two guys that I know them from online. I've done some webinars with them, but I met them at the event again, and we got to talk. They have a show that's coming out, and it's going to be a house flipping show. They already finished filming the entire first season, and they said and it didn't even air yet, and they already got renewed for season 2, which means the producers and the people at the studio obviously believe this is going to be a really good show. I personally believe it's going to be a really good show. Because I know that they're very straight up, they're honest people. They're not going to put in those fake numbers you see on most of the house flipping shows that show all this profit that's just not real. And so I know that they're not going to do that. If they lose money, they're going to show losing money on this show, which is kind of what I'm looking forward to. I think not that they're going to lose money, but I think it's going to be real. The numbers should be real. And so I wanted to tell you guys about it because it actually airs. The premiere episode airs tomorrow. So their names are Pace and Jameel. And they do all kinds of house flipping stuff. They do a lot of, training. I've seen a lot of their stuff. They do some good stuff, but the show is called Triple Digit Flip, and it's going to air on A&E tomorrow, Saturday, October 2nd at noon. So I'm looking forward to watching it. I think it's going to be a good show. I'm hoping it is. I've seen some clips from their promo videos, and it looks good. And for those of you who watch the shows, at least if we're going to watch one, I'd like to watch one that's real and, not TV land type reality TV. And so if you're interested or if you watch those shows, it's called Triple Digit Flip, and it's going to be on tomorrow, October 2nd at noon on A&E. I'm not going to be home, but I'm going to set my DVR to record it. So at least we can watch it then. That's all I got for you guys today. I just wanted to, I ran out of the house this morning. I said, man, I didn't get to do my podcast. So I figured, hey, I'm just going to do it right here from the iPad, and we'll see if it comes out, see if you're able to hear me, if it works out well, and we will rock and roll from there. So have an absolutely fantastic day. Do something today that your future self is going to thank you for. I have been thinking that way and doing it for so long that I am now my future self, and I'm always thanking myself for what I've done in the past, but that's nothing compared to what my future self is going to be thanking me for doing right now. So make sure that you go ahead and do that. Do something today, even if it's small. Do something today that your future self is going to thank you for. Go out there, make it happen. The real estate market's on fire right now. It's a great time to be a real estate investor. And don't let it be in your head that, I'm going to start sooner, I'm going to start tomorrow. go ahead, get it done, get out there and make it happen. Thank you for watching. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up so that I know that you're out there, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Talk to you tomorrow.